We're joined tonight by Fred Barnes, executive editor of the Weekly Standard, Fox News contributor, and Mollie Hemingway, senior editor of the Federalist. Thank you both for being here. And do you know, I have to say that I think the president has acquitted himself so well, Mollie, and I think it's wonderful that he will still take on the likes of John Podesta, if he has a like, from the summit, take on the left-wing media, whether it's CNN or NBC, and still be leader of the free world. It's a bravura performance, is it not?
Well, I think that one thing that's really good about it is it gets people to refocus on some of the issues here. If you are concerned about Russian meddling in a campaign, and as people claim that they are, there are a lot of questions that haven't been answered. I understand actually why the DNC wouldn't want to turn over their servers to the FBI, but it's also interesting that the FBI
why would you want to get the FBI between yourself and the Russian intelligence agencies? I can understand that too, Mollie.
But it's kind of odd that the intelligence agencies haven't been more direct about seizing some of these things, or, you know, if they are so concerned about this type of Russian meddling. The Podesta thing was actually spear phishing. That means that he stupidly clicked on a link that he shouldn't have in his email, which is totally different than the hack of the DNC, which has more criminal elements.
But his stupidity was persistent, was it not? And seemingly unending, and admittedly with the aid of WikiLeaks and the national media, which couldn't wait for the next installment. And by the way, thank God the system did work, our system of a free press in that instance, but it was apparently dependent upon the good offices and agents of the Russian intelligence agencies. Fred, your thoughts here? It was an extraordinary performance, and we've got another day for President Trump to demonstrate why he is the leader of the free world. You have to be heartened. You have to be proud.
I was heartened. He had a great day yesterday with that spectacular speech in Warsaw. Today, he had this meeting with Putin that the New York Times had reported ahead of time that Putin would win this thing, and Putin got nothing. Putin now has to put out a statement that he will never interfere with other countries' elections. He'll never try to do that. Now, he may not mean it, but he has to put out a statement saying that. Because why? It's not because they both agree that the U.S. and Russia needs such statements. It's because Trump obviously imposed it on him. And look, people, I think, were right to doubt with the rookie president going in to a session with the Russian leader when there's no real agenda, and it goes on for 2 hours and 15 minutes, but Trump did fine.
Trump did fine. Trump is the president of the United States, and what we have are a bunch of Lilliputians, some of them in the left-wing national media, some of them in the Dem party, and some on the hard left in the deep state. Nonetheless, he is leading and without exception doing a marvelous job, and you cannot point, I would challenge either of you, to a president in the last decade who has done nearly so well as this president in Hamburg and in Warsaw.
Well, we remember, of course, a lot of Americans do, John F. Kennedy's first meeting with Nikita Khrushchev in 1961. I think it was in Vienna.
Yes.
And what did Khrushchev draw from that? That Kennedy was a very weak president who could be taken advantage of.
And the Cuban Missile Crisis followed it without, with uniform acceptance.
Yes, I don't think Vladimir Putin came to that conclusion today.
Yeah, and I don't think Xi Jinping has either. Mollie, your thoughts?
Well, it's just so interesting how the media are so distracted and focused on things like the president's tweet about Podesta or whatnot. Meanwhile, the big boys are in the room. They're actually hammering out a deal. They're actually, for a first meeting between these two leaders, I think it went about as well as you could have hoped for, actually making some progress in Syria, which is one of the areas on which Russia and the U.S. have some shared interests. There are a lot of problems. I mean, they are an adversary. They do have the capability of annihilating our country because of their nuclear powers. We do need to make sure that we don't just accept their words on meddling.
I don't know if that's appropriately an aside, Mollie, when we're talking about the two largest nuclear powers in the world. To me, it was gratifying. It was, in point of fact, exhilarating to see the United States, a power on the world stage once again, with a man who knows what the hell he's doing and who means to do what he can in the national interest
And actually getting a deliverable, too, is the important thing. I mean, they walked away with actually something to show for this meeting, and that is a nice first step.
Mollie, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Mollie Hemingway. Fred, good to see you. Fred Barnes.
Thank you.